Alrighty. Just had to do a couple things in the background. We're going to play Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis. Nice little DOS game I remember playing back in the day. Used to have the CD for it. Don't have it anymore. I sold that to some little kid for $10 at a yard sale years ago. Kind of regret it, but oh well. It was just a CD. I didn't have the box or anything with it. Alright, just need to figure out how I'm going to put this screen up. I'm going to be using ScumVM to run the game. I would run it under DOSBox, but I think it's more reliable to run it under on ScumVM than through DOSBox. I hope that actually shows up properly. I might have to readjust that when I start the game. Yeah, that needs to be readjusted. Give me a sec here. There we go. So we'll crank that up a little bit. Oh, okay.
All right, Jones, how you gonna find that statue and all this junk?
How indeed. Yeah, this whole game's all fully voiced and such, so it'll be entertaining. So at this point in the game, we're at the beginning. We're still in the credit sequence, the title credit sequence, but we have control over the mouse and we can look at some of the things in the area. Like, look at the statue over here.
It's a copy of an Egyptian statue of Horus.
It's gargoyle.
It's a medieval gargoyle, or good imitation.
There's a chest here.
Marcus still thinks this chest belonged to Columbus. It's a genuine candlestick. Some kind of funeral urn. It's a stone carving of Shiva. Poor Marcus. He thought this was a Maasai warrior.
And then if we click on this statue... fall through a trap hole. Oof! We were just in the attic. Now we're on the second floor, I think. We can continue to look around and such.
The label says unidentified potsherds. Marcus thought potlatch Indians carved this. Looks like a movie prop to me.
Could be a movie prop.
Looks like textiles from the Shamet collection. It's from the Shamet collection. Very sharp. Looks dangerous.
If we click on this rope, the statue falls down and hits Indy. Now we're on the first floor. Dig that ASCII music.
I've done enough climbing today. I don't need them. They're just textbooks. I think I've read them all. It's an old lecture hall desk. There's nothing of importance here. There's nothing of importance here. The stairway is closed for repairs. These books don't look familiar. Uh-oh.
The bookcase wasn't secured properly. Now we're in the basement. At the beginning of the sequence, Indy mentioned that he's looking for a statue, and it's somewhere in this
Better get
mess.
that roof checked. It's a book ready to fall.
Not much to look at here except for these cat figurines. And this coal chute.
Looks pretty slippery. A cheap copy of a Siamese idol.
One of those was a real cat.
It's hot. A fine sample of bitumen. It's too slippery to walk up. It's a greasy old towel. I'll be. Here's what I've been searching for.
There's that statue.
Strange looking thing. I wonder where Marcus picked it up.
This is where the credits pretty much end. We're then treated to an automatic sequence of events. The guy in the gray is Marcus. The blonde guy is someone else.
I'm back.
Indy? You don't look at all well, Dr. Jones.
Exploring our collections can be dangerous, Mr. What was your name again?
Smith. Tell me, did you find a lock to match my key?
You bet I did. Take a look.
What are you waiting for? Let's open it.
Why not? It's an obvious fake.
You may think so, Doctor, but I believe we are opening a new chapter in history.
My word, Indy, a small metal bead. Jewelry, perhaps?
I still think it's a fake.
Then you won't mind if I take it.
Oh, pulled out a
Ready,
gun.
Mr. Smith.
Stand back, gentlemen.
I hope you've got a getaway car waiting. You'll need one.
What is Fate?
He got away.
But we got his coat, Marcus.
Yes, code's important.
Hey, what's this? Klaus Kerner, huh?
Good Lord, Indy, the man's some sort of agent from the Third Reich. What does the spy want with the Buddhist statue?
I lied, Marcus. I don't think it's a phony. I can't place the style, but it's old.
Look what else our friend was carrying. An old copy of National Archaeology. And there you are in Iceland.
Yeah, field supervisor for the Jastro expedition. My first real job.
Who's the woman?
Sophia Hapgood. She was my assistant, a spoiled rich kid from Boston, rebelling against her family.
Where is she now?
She gave up archaeology to become a psychic.
How odd.
You can say that again.
How odd.
Indy, Kerner found you. What if he finds her? We should warn the woman.
You're right. I want to know more about that statue. You know, Marcus, the coldest year of my life was the one I spent in Iceland with Sophia.
And now the game starts off proper right here. Just give me a sec to save. Those are some previous files. We don't need to look at those. Make this the main save. There, we now have access to our inventory down here, which right now we just have that copy of National Archaeology. Got our verbs here, which allows us to manipulate the world as we see fit. And we can move indie by simply clicking around.
Hello there.
The show sold out, sir.
Now wait.
No seats, no standing room, no exception.
So we definitely can't get into the theater. We need to, so we can find Sophia.
Imagine the suckers who actually pay to see Sophia's Lost World lectures.
Of course, there's two ways to use these verbs. We can click on the verb we want and then highlight the item. Or if we move our cursor over to the item in question, you'll notice one of the verbs lights up, and if we right-click, then it'll automatically use that verb. So, like, for example, you see this newspaper right here. If I right-click,
It's today's paper.
I'm already looking at the newspaper. But I can also pick it up.
It's today's paper.
This paper will be useful shortly.
I can't make a call. I'm out of nickels.
Okay. Well then, yeah, something happened on my end for some reason. So we get two ways of getting into the theater. This back door will take us to the theater. But so will this fire escape. If we open the back door, we're bound to get into security. But we could bypass security by doing the fire escape. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Doing so, we have to push a couple crates out of the way so that we can actually get through. There we go.
Hey! You must be the new doorman. About time they got rid of Biff. He was such a pushover.
We didn't even talk to Biff. He was in security.
I want a reading with Miss Hapgood.
Are you crazy? During the show? Write her a letter.
Here's Sophia right there.
Excuse me.
Take it easy and watch the show.
Here, my friends, is Atlantis, as it might have appeared in its heyday. Glorious, prosperous, socially and technically advanced. Beyond our wildest dreams. 5,000 years ago, while everyone else still wore animal skins, the mighty spirits of Atlantis dared to build a city where knowledge and power were united in true happiness. Centuries later, the famous philosopher Plato wrote about it. He placed Atlantis on a continent out in the deep ocean and described how it was divided into 3 circular parts, such as you see here.
Isn't she something? She can go on for hours.
That she could. That she could.
Excuse me.
Shh. She's just coming to the exciting part.
Oh.
What befell the serene city? We may never know for sure. Was it the sea level slowly creeping higher, or the earth itself suddenly shifting? However it happened, panic must have gripped the citizens on that fateful day when proud Atlantis sank beneath the waves. Or perhaps it was a volcanic eruption, and something remains even now. On some questions, the great spirit who guides my thoughts, the all-seeing Nurab Sal, is silent.
He's an important fella.
I've been through this 100 times. The woman never stops.
Excuse me.
Yeah, what now?
You look tired. Wouldn't you like to call it a day?
Nah, sooner or later I get to run the ghost out there. That's always a big moment.
Yeah, that's this contraption right here. We need to get access to it.
Wait! She's still talking.
Yeah, see, he won't let us touch it, so we have to find some way to get rid of this guy.
Excuse me.
Yeah, what now?
Isn't there something you'd rather be doing?
Like what? Show business is my whole life.
Don't you ever read?
Sure, it's a hobby of mine.
What if I give you something to read?
I might take a look.
We give him this newspaper.
Here.
Well, the late edition. I wonder if the Dodgers won. Watch the lights while I find out, okay?
There we go, he's gone. Now we can play around with this control panel. We gotta push these levers in a certain order and then press the button, this red button right here. Push the right lever, then the left one. So that way they got the green lights and the ghost is flashing. And then we push the button.
There it goes.
And I still feel the presence of Atlantis through, may I present Nurab Sal, the great Atlantean god of
Deceit.
deceit. Thanks, Indy. Indiana Jones? You've got some nerve. Go back, you big jack-o'-lantern. Oh, great. Good night, folks.
Well, that's the end of her show.
Come on, mister. I've got a few words to mince with you.
I'd say it's about time.
Indeed.
Oh, no!
Looks like Kerner got here first. Stay put.
Looks like her place is trashed. And he goes out to go find Kerner.
No one here. Nor here either.
Oh, there he is.
Dr. Uberman, fantastic news. We found the treasure we seek.
I like how the subtitle says Fritz Fantastic News, but he clearly said Uberman. Uberman's an important guy later on.
That's the second time Kerner slipped away. What does a Nazi spy want with old statues?
Have you seen the newspaper? Listen to this. Germans claim victory in worldwide race to smash the uranium atom. Chief scientist Dr. Hans Uberman announces plan to harness new sources of energy for the Third Reich.
So?
Any of these choices will go.
They'll never find enough uranium.
Of course not. That's why they're looking for the power of Atlantis.
Be serious. I used to think you'd make a good scientist.
All these will work too.
Yet you stole things from my expedition. Artifacts such as archaeology has never seen. You're lucky I don't have you arrested.
So what if I kept a few pieces for myself? Look for a small coppery bead under those clippings in my desk.
What do you know?
Kerner missed the grand prize.
What?
My necklace.
Her necklace.
Watch closely. The bead is made of orichalcum, the mystery metal first mentioned by Plato. Now I'll place it in the medallion's mouth.
And it's the same bead that we saw earlier back in Indy's office. Ooh, spooky ghost came out of it.
Did you see that?
Yeah, creepy. Is your electric bill paid up?
That was Nurab Sal. His spirit is close.
Closer than Atlantis, that's for sure. Suppose I gave this orichalcum business any credence, which I don't.
Any of these will do.
Atlantis has been underwater for centuries.
Shh. I'm getting something. Nurab Sal speaks. He bids us find the... what? A book, yes. The Lost Dialogue of Plato.
Another fine myth.
Any of these will do as well. Get to pick the conversation.
It's not in any library I've ever been in.
What if the Nazis have already found a copy? You ever think of that?
What were these pieces doing in Iceland, I wonder?
Survivors must have sailed there after the great catastrophe.
Any port in a storm, huh? Who's working there these days?
Bjorn Heimdall, I believe.
Maybe we should pay him a visit. What do you say?
I thought you'd never ask.
And we head off to Iceland.
Sophia,
Yes?
Remember this place?
The Jastro expedition, how could I forget?
Cold enough for you?
Even colder than my feelings towards you, Jones.
What do we do now?
That's cold.
Let's look for Heimdall.
Heimdall should be inside the dig site.
Dr. Heimdall.
Dr. Indiana Jones, I believe, and Madame Sophia Hapgood. This is my dig site now. Go away.
Not feeling very friendly today, are we?
I like solitude. It helps me think.
I thought you were digging up Norse graves in Denmark.
I was. Obviously now I'm not.
Doctor, what do you expect to find here?
The secret of Hyperborea. That's what the Greeks called Iceland, you know. You've read how they sailed north to a fog-shrouded land and how they never set foot upon it? Ha! After traveling thousands of miles, mere fog wouldn't turn them back. Some idiots claim they were repelled by ghosts. Poppycock, you know what actually stopped them, Sean?
Any of these choices will do.
Maybe they didn't allot any time on their itinerary.
No. They were stopped by a force field put here by beings not of this earth.
That's fascinating, Doctor. Have you ever heard of Plato's Lost Dialogue?
Yes, there are rumors about such a book, but I've yet to see it. There are two people you might want to visit. Charles Sternhardt in Tikal, a shady fellow, who claims he translated the whole thing, and Philippe Costa in the Azores Islands. As a researcher, he's a farce, but he's a sharp traitor.
So now we have two guys that we can track down after we finish with Heimdall here.
Well, why did these beings show up here?
I am convinced that these travelers came to Earth to form colonies like Atlantis, using Hyperborea as a spaceport. Up north here, we're close to the ether. It's a perfect landing site.
So what's the link between Hyperborea and Atlantis?
Right, the Jastro expedition, the one you both worked on. Recently I saw pieces from it, pieces that are clearly Atlantean.
I see. Somebody must have been selling them.
Go ahead, blame it all on me.
So you completely discount the supernatural?
Completely. If it's supernatural you want, talk to Sternhardt and Costa.
Yeah, these two dialogue will make them repeat that we have to talk to Sternhardt and Costa. But we can click on this third one.
What is this thing you're working on?
The bronze eel here? It's probably a homing beacon for wayward spaceships. Soon I'll have it out of the ice.
And that's all we could say. That this will just make him repeat something random that has something to do with this eel statue that's in the ice.
So long.
Good luck, fellow believer.
You can look at that, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, there it
It's
is.
an eel figurine trapped in ice.
Yeah, that figurine will be a little important later on. But we're done with Heimdall for now. Head back over to this truck and we'll move on to
Let's head for the airport.
probably the Azores first. So we talk to Costa. I like the artwork in this game. This is pretty.
This is his house?
This is it.
Alright, let's go meet up with him.
Mr. Costa?
Keep your shirt on.
Be careful, Indy. Humor him.
Trust me.
I suppose you're selling something. If it's not a priceless artifact, I don't want it.
I hear you know something about Plato's Lost Dialogue.
Maybe so, maybe no. Who are you?
I'm Indiana Jones.
I'm Costa, and I'm tired of talking to you. Indiana? What kind of stupid name is that?
Nice going, Indy. I could have done better.
Yeah, sure. Mr. Costa?
You again? What do you want?
I hear you know something about Atlantis.
Ha! Wouldn't tell you if I did.
Come on, I'm a fellow believer.
Is that right? Do you know where Atlantis is?
Actually, I'm trying to find out.
Come closer, boy, and I'll tell you. You're standing on it.
The Azores?
No one believes me. That hurts.
Don't start with me. Sophia,
Yes?
how'd we get mixed up with this screwball?
The screwball in Iceland, remember?
Here, you talk to the man.
My pleasure.
You have control over Sophia. She'll have a better chance at coaxing information at Costa than Indy will.
My necklace. My necklace. Mr. Costa!
Keep your shirt on.
He's a touchy old bird.
Watch and learn, Dr. Jones.
Well, hello, beautiful.
He actually comes out.
Professor Costa, my name is Sophia Hapgood.
Madam Sophia? A renowned psychic?
I hope my friend didn't pester you too much.
He's a friend of yours? Well, no, he didn't pester me that much.
Actually, he's named after the family dog.
Sophia,
See?
I see.
What can you tell us about Plato's Lost Dialogue?
What do you want to know?
Do you have it?
Nope,
Have you read it?
nope,
Do you know what's in it?
not exactly.
Can you get it for me?
Sorry.
Do you know where we could find it?
Well now, that depends. I might trade the information for a rare Atlantean artifact, such as a certain necklace I've heard about.
I'll never trade away my necklace.
Well then, if that's how you feel, surprise me.
Would you do business with my friend here?
Madame, I'll do business with anyone.
Thanks for your help. Goodbye for now.
At your command, madame. Don't be a stranger now.
What a charming old man.
trade, huh? If not your necklace, then what, I wonder?
Indeed. We could also talk to him about Atlantis, but he'll just go on about how he believes the Azore Islands are Atlantis. Which is kind of feasible, but
Indy,
not to any extent, really.
Yes?
I think you better take over.
Okay, I'll think of something.
Give control back to Indy, and then we'll head out of here, because we just need to have Costa confirm that not only he'll trade the information for
Come
something,
on, let's go.
but that he'll actually trade with Indy. Now we'll head to Tikal, so we can go talk to Sternhardt. We might have some more information. This is also where we can have a little bit of action, too.
Sophia,
Yes?
how do you like the tropics?
You're the one who's afraid of snakes.
Great, thanks for reminding me. Looks like the end of the road.
There's got to be a way through.
Oh, there's a way through. You just
what do we do
don't wanna
now?
go through it.
We probably should find Sternhardt. But I'm not setting foot in that malaria-infested hole.
Oh, it's not necessarily infested with malaria. I'm sure there's some other diseases in there. So yeah, this little section is just a little maze. All these dark circle these dark pits go to like different ones. We want to go through this one because that actually gets us out. There's a parrot right there. And you'll see that there's a pit here, and there's a tree here, but there also happens to be an anaconda
It's a
on
snake.
there.
I hate snakes.
That he does.
Hold on. I'm not going anywhere near that snake.
So we gotta find some way to get rid of that snake off the tree. Because that tree is probably our only way across.
Looks like a jungle rodent.
There's a jungle rodent of some sort here. If we get close to it, it actually starts running off. We want to try to lure that guy into this path. There he goes. Now we go. Use whip with the rodent. I'll scare the rodent out. There we go. Got rid of the snake.
Good old Mother Nature.
And now we just head into there, and now we can use that tree to get across somehow. Do that by looking at it.
It looks pretty flexible.
Flexible. Use it.
Wow, some bridge.
Hi, Indy.
Somehow Sophia got around here.
Hello. How did you get over here?
While you were off bushwhacking, I found a path.
What do we do now?
We better find Sternhard.
He's somewhere around here.
A monument to the genius of the Mayans.
Just a minute. That's my shop. Can I help you with something?
Postcard, replicas of the temple, souvenir mugs.
No thanks, Mr.
Charles Sternhard, PhD, independent thinker, researcher, and merchant.
Quite the titles.
What can you tell us about Plato's Lost Dialogue?
I'm the one who translated it, I can tell you that. I'd worry you were here to steal my last copy, but someone called Mr. Smith beat you to it.
Oh, no. What can you tell us about Mr. Smith?
He showed up last week, a tall man with a German accent and a pistol. He could have taken all my souvenirs, but he only wanted the Lost Dialogue.
Because that actually has value.
What can you tell us about the temple?
Glad you asked. The locals claim Mayan Indians built it. Now I ask you, does this look like the work of primitive savages, or does it seem much too civilized?
I'd say both.
Can we take a look inside?
How do I know that you aren't a pair of silly tourists? I only show the temple to reputable scholars.
I'm hoping to find some evidence of Atlantis here.
Evidence is easy. You're surrounded by it. Proof? Now that's hard.
Does that mean we came to the wrong place?
I've pretty much lost hope myself, but old legends and rumors die hard.
What kind of rumors?
Local legend has it that the temple was built by men who are not men.
What are men who are not men?
Who knows? I've heard everything from giant men with snakes for tails to giant snakes with men for heads.
Do you actually believe Atlanteans lived here?
After the city sank, this is where they came, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's funny, because back in Iceland, Heimdall believes they showed up there, but Sternhard here thinks they're actually the Mayans.
I'm Dr. Indiana Jones, and I'd like to explore the temple.
Indiana? Sounds like the name of one of your states, or possibly a cat.
Actually, it was the name of a dog.
Sophia! I'd really like to explore the temple.
Tell me the name of the Lost Dialogue of Plato.
Now we hit to a nice little puzzle here, because Because we don't know the title of Plato's Lost Dialogue, at least not yet. Yeah. How it works is that we can choose one of these. We can choose any of these, and they won't be correct, but this parrot will repeat it. And then if we talk to the parrot, he'll either describe our choice, or if we choose title, he'll actually tell us the title of the Lost Dialogue.
I don't know the title.
Title! Well, at least you're an honest man.
Of course, now Sternhart will piss off back into the temple. So we want to talk to the parrot. Now we can play around with the parrot by saying all these things. He'll repeat this. He'll repeat these two, but the third one he'll...
Me and you.
And Tyler too.
Probably assume that the parrot is named Tyler. But we want to say title.
Hermocrates, a friend of Socrates.
So now we know the title of the Lost Dialogue, which is the Hermocrates. So now we're going to call Sternhart out.
Well now, let me guess.
Hey,
Yes? You and the little woman decided to take home that special mug, eh?
No, we don't want a mug.
about exploring the temple.
Tell me the name of the Lost Dialogue of Plato.
The Hermocrates.
That's it. That's it.
Well now, perhaps I was wrong. You seem to know what you're doing. Walk this way, please.
I don't trust this guy, Indy.
I know what you mean.
Come on.
Heimdall did say he was a
Here we
shady
are.
fellow.
See what you can do.
Now we get to explore an inside section of the temple. One thing to note immediately is this animal head.
Looks like it could use a nose.
Another thing you'll notice is this section of the spiral design.
Engraved symbols of water and life. This one looks different, more deeply etched.
It may be possible to pick it up.
I can't. Years of tarnish have it all gummed up.
We need to get rid of the tarnish.
Listen,
Yes?
what was the purpose of this chamber?
You have me there. Some sort of crypt?
Crypt is possible.
Listen,
Yes?
so you've never found anything here?
No, I'm stumped.
Even Sternhart can't
Professor.
figure it out.
Yes?
Don't you have to keep an eye on your store?
Oh, I'm sure it's safe. I'd much rather keep an eye on you.
Yeah, he won't let us out of his sight. If we try to head outside, he'll follow us. We need to find something to get rid of the tarnish that's on this spiral design.
Wait for me, old bean.
Yeah, see? He'll follow us outside. Now we'll notice here that there's a kerosene lamp on it in his shop. If we try to pick it up, he'll prevent us.
Sorry, old chum. That lamp's a part of my shop. I can't let you have that.
The kerosene in that lamp can get rid of the tarnish. So we gotta find some way to get that without him noticing.
Hold up there, friend. Well, any ideas yet?
Yeah. So we're gonna talk to Sophia. and see if
Excuse me,
she can
Sophia?
distract her.
What's up?
What do we do now?
Let's keep looking.
Sophia, let's talk.
What's up?
Could you talk to Sternhart and keep him occupied?
Okay. Dr. Sternhart, I'd like to speak to you.
There, Sophia will distract him. And during this moment, we can head out and grab that kerosene lamp.
Good thing that pest Sternhardt's not around. It's a lamp filled with kerosene.
Just head back inside.
Excuse me, won't you? Let's see what your friend is up to.
Now we have to open the kerosene lamp first, and we can use the lamp with this.
So, you took my lamp, eh? I hope you know what you're doing.
Look, the kerosene ate away the tarnish.
Remarkable.
Now we can pick up the design.
Now I got it.
Marvelous.
It's a stone carving. It's a stone carving. Engraved symbols of water and life.
And now the only real use for the spiral design is to use it on the animal head. Somehow.
It fits perfectly. Now it looks kind of like an elephant.
Amazing.
Which is odd because...
It's the primitive image of an elephant.
But of course there are no elephants on this side of the ocean.
Yeah, so why is it an elephant head?
It resembles an elephant's trunk.
If we pull the nose...
Look at that!
Astonishing! Bless my soul, the tomb of an Atlantean king! Here's a small stone disc with images of land and sea engraved on it. I do believe it's a Wellstone. At last I have the thing. Goodbye, fellow seekers.
Wait!
Oh no, he got away!
Rip.
It's almost invisible.
There's now a secret door.
It won't budge.
But we can't open it. So what Sternhardt just swiped is something called a world stone, which is a stone disc which is going to be needed much later in the game, but we don't have to worry about it right now.
Who knows? Maybe it is the tomb of an Atlantean king.
But Sternhardt did miss one little trinket in this tomb.
Looks like a bead of orichalcum. Too bad for Sternhardt. He missed the orichalcum bead.
Now we have our first orichalcum bead. Push this down so that way Buddy there can go back to sleeping. Now we need to figure out a use for this orichalcum. Could give it to Sophia to put in her necklace, but that's just a waste of orichalcum. But what we can do is head back to Iceland and see if there's any progress on that eel figurine.
Let's find the airport.
Double checking something real quick here. Just give me a second. Okay, cool. So here we are back in Iceland, and it turns out poor Heimdall's frozen solid. Guess he couldn't get the...
Too bad. He's frozen solid. A little too dedicated to his work, I guess.
Indeed.
Sophia,
What's on your mind?
Heimdall's ideas weren't that hot, I guess. What now?
What about that eel figurine?
Well,
It looks like Heimdall managed to chip the eel head free. It looks like a bead would fit in the eel's mouth.
well, that's convenient. Let's use the orichalcum in the exposed eel head.
It fits perfectly. Whoa!
Look, it melted itself right out of the ice.
Now we can pick it up.
It's a bronze coil.
So what the eel figurine just did is that when it got fed orichalcum, it heated up. It was literally a heating apparatus of some sort. But now we've got an Atlantean artifact, which is what Costa would like to have. So now we'll head back to the Azores.
Let's head for the airport.
Double checking another thing here. Just give me a second. Try to turn it up a little bit, I guess. Yeah, that should do. Okay. So now we'll open the door.
Mr. Costa?
You again? What do you want?
Let's talk about a trade.
Okay, what you got?
Could offer him these things, but he'll reject us. So we'll just go ahead and click on this one.
I'm offering this mysterious eel figurine.
Now that looks interesting. You've got a deal, mister. Now listen carefully. I don't know exactly where to find it, but the Lost Dialogue of Plato is in the Dunlop collection. Got that?
I think so. The Dunlop collection.
Very good. Nice doing business with you.
The collection is random with every playthrough.
The Dunlop collection? You know something, Sophia? I believe Barnet College owns the Dunlop collection.
Meanwhile, in a research laboratory somewhere in Germany.
Dr. Uberman, fantastic news.
Kerner, at last!
See what Herr Jones has kindly provided.
What on earth?
Isn't it amazing?
You fool! You come back to show me this prehistoric knick-knack?
Herr Doctor, I believe this knick-knack, as you call it, comes from the Lost City.
Then we have failed. I see no evidence here of some magical metal Plato called orichalcum.
Look here. Concealed in the base is a small shiny bead.
And it glitters like fire, exactly as Plato described.
It's my guess we found the treasure we seek.
I never guess. We must test.
My God.
We've done it! The energy of uranium without any radioactivity! And those smug American scientists know nothing!
That gives me an idea. Suppose I place the bead inside the statue's open mouth. You saw that? Think of trucks powered by these beads. Think of tanks. Think of airplanes.
Use your imagination, Colonel. Think big like the Americans. Think of bombs.
Yes, bombs built from orichalcum. It's at this point now that we hear a dip in audio quality in Sophia.
So why are you dragging me in here?
This is Caswell Hall. We store all our junk here.
You think Plato's Lost Dialogue is junk?
I believe it's as real as Atlantis.
All right, Mr. Cynic, start searching. I'll meet you in your office.
So now we gotta look all over the college to find the Dunlop collection, and it can be in one of 3 areas. We'll start on the first floor. The down bookcase can be one of them.
I believe it's part of the old Pierce collection.
Thankfully, it's part of Pierce and not Dunlop, so we don't have to worry about it.
It's an old lecture hall desk, complete with a wad of gum, I'll bet.
Which actually...
There is a sticky wad of gum under here. It sure is gooey. It sure is gooey.
Yeah. The gum can actually be useful in this part.
A fine example of braided hemp.
If we use the rope, we can climb back into the second floor. Oh, I meant to look at the gaping hole, not go back down it.
A fine example of braided hemp. Looks like textiles from the Shamet collection. Marcus thought Potlatch Indians carved this. Looks like a movie prop to me. The label says unidentified potsherds. Looks like beadwork from the Phoenix collection.
Second thing is behind this crate. We can actually push this crate to reveal a nice little chest.
I believe it's part of the old Ashkenazi collection.
It's definitely not that one, so now we gotta go back down to the third one, which is down in the basement level. The three spots that we can find the Lost Dialogue is also random. Close these lockers.
It's a greasy old towel.
We pick that up. Why not?
A fine sample of bitumen.
We could pick up the coal, but we're not going to bother. The coal's actually somewhat useless at this point.
It's too slippery to walk up.
Not unless the bookcase was the one we're looking for. But now we have a use for the gum. We can use that on the coal chute.
I think I'll stick this on my shoes for traction. What do you know? The gum works!
There we go. We're now in the basement.
I believe it's part of the old Pierce collection. It's a book ready to fall.
If the bookshelf from upstairs was of the collection we're looking for, we can either open up the bottom of the backside of the bookcase, or we can take the piece of coal and fling it at this book here, and that book would be the Lost Dialogue, but that's part of a different collection. The third is one of these cat figurines.
Another cat idol. It looks odd. I believe it's part of the old Dunlop collection. I believe it's part of the old Dunlop collection. Another cat idol. It looks odd. I believe it's part of the old Dunlop collection.
We can pick up the cat idol that he says that's odd. So it's this one.
It's made out of wax. A cat idol, but unlike the others, it's made of wax.
So now we head back down the coal chute to the furnace area. We open the furnace, and then we use the wax cat with the furnace.
The wax is melting. There's a manuscript inside. The Lost Dialogue of Plato.
And there we have it. An extremely important book for the rest of the game. Now at last I have Plato's Lost Dialogue translated entirely. The Greek original is lost, so I've used the Arabic text I found in an Italian monastery years ago and always thought it was a hoax. Now I wonder, could this remarkable book hold the secret to long-lost Atlantis? Probably not. No one will publish it, that's certain. The fear of ridicule is too great. To be safe, I've sent a copy to Dunlop. Charles Sternhardt, London, 1922. The paper clips you see here are bookmarks that lead us to important sections of the dialogue. This page details the distance of where Atlantis could be in the world. Yeah, but it mentions something called a tenfold error. So instead of saying that Atlantis is 3,000 miles away from Greece, it could be 30,000 miles, or less than 300. Likewise, if the Lost Kingdom... It may be that the Lost Kingdom held sway as many as 100,000 years ago, or as few as 1,000, which then... And that's... Yeah. In which then Socrates mentions that they should accept the lesser figure. The third paperclip mentions the distance from the lesser colony and the greater colony, which are two important sections regarding Atlantis. And it also details the special stones that are needed in order to open the gates. At many outposts, a sunstone specified. If sunset made the tall horns red. That's the hint. When we eventually get a sunstone, this hint will tell us what position it has to be in. There's also a moonstone, which also gives us a hint here. And then there's a world stone, which is what Sternhardt going to Tikal. And another hint. And then final entrance yielded only to contrary minds. Next paperclip mentions about orichalcum. Here it mentions that they typically used orichalcum to power statues and machines. And it also says here that they carved devices out of amber to search for it. And then the last paperclip tells of the final moments of Atlantis. Knowing mortal men would never rule the sea, they planned a huge colossus, which, by the use of orichalcum, 10 beads at a time, would make them like the gods themselves. Nur-Ab-Sal was one such king. He it was, say the wise men of Egypt, who first put the men in the colossus, making many freaks of nature at times when the celestial spheres were well aligned. The celestial spheres are the stone discs that are mentioned in this paperclip. This page won't come into play until much later in the game. So now we have the dialogue. We can head back to Sophia, because she'll probably want to read this too.
I got it. I found Plato's Lost Dialogue.
Really?
Our jungle friend Sternhardt is quite the scholar.
Let me see.
Of course, now the game shows us the book itself, so I probably could have detailed all that earlier.
I don't see how this will help
Or
us
here,
find
I mean.
Atlantis.
Plato mentions colonies and outposts. We'll find them.
But he doesn't name them.
Other sources may identify them for us.
I wonder. Where's my spirit guide when I need him?
Come on, Sophia. The answer's in the book, not outer space.
So he got his dates mixed up. Why is that so important?
Plato's error means distances could also be wrong.
So what if they are?
If Plato is right, Atlantis is in the Mediterranean.
You mean 300 miles from Greece instead of 3,000?
Yes, the cradle of civilization.
You could be right. He once told me he came from the middle of the world. That's what Mediterranean means.
Good old Nurab Sal. I'm starting to like him.
Wait, quiet. I think I'm getting something.
That orichalcum sure is spooky stuff.
Spooky? Haven't you learned anything? Among the artifacts that Kerner stole was a small stone disc with a hole in it. I'm sure it was one of the 3 stones mentioned in Plato's book. And I didn't find it. I bought it from Omar al-Jabbar in Algiers.
Haven't we talked to enough of these nutcases?
Or was it Alain Trottier in Monte Carlo? Either way, Algiers or Monte Carlo. This much I do know. You'll need all 3 stones if you want to find Atlantis.
How will I find Trottier and Al-Jabbar?
Not so fast. First, I'm going to tell you a fortune. Look into my eyes. Deep into my eyes. For Pete's sake, I'm not going to hurt you. Now hold still. You are a remarkable man, Dr. Jones. You possess great strength of character. You are resourceful, always eager to solve life's deepest puzzles. I could never follow the thoughts of your maze-like mind, so I can't follow you along the twisting path that leads to Atlantis.
Alright. I'm going to save right here, because we're at an important milestone in the game now. So what's happened is that Sophia just told our fortune, which is based on how we tackled things back in New York. If we went through the back door, dealt with the security, but sweet-talked our way past the security, she would suggest this line right here. Basically, at this point in the game, the game will branch off into one of 3 paths. There's the wits path, the team path, and the fists path. Sophia here just proposed that I choose the wits path because I went through the fire exit back in New York. But if we sweet-talked our way past the doormen, she would suggest the team path, which is her and Indy. With the wits and the fists path, is just Indy for the rest of the game. If we went through the security but ended up having a fist fight with them, then she would suggest the fists path. So that's why I saved here, because at this point we can either go on with her hunch or we can choose one of the other 2 paths. Yeah, so just double check that save. Oh, excuse me. Yeah. So we can come back to this save after we do another path. Oh. Just give me a second here. I think for now I'll probably just end the stream here, because I am feeling a little tired. Work was a little iffy for me today, so I figure I might as well get this game started, and then probably tomorrow I'll either start off on one of these paths or maybe play something else. Yeah, I think that will be it for the evening.